Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing great today. In this video, we're going to talk about something super important for your English. How to master 1000 essential English words and use them naturally in real life. Vocabulary is the heart of any language, and learning the right words can make your English sound more fluent and confident. I'll show you simple ways to remember new words easily and use them in daily conversations. So stay with me till the end, and let's make your English stronger, one word at a time. Imagine this. You want to speak English fluently, but sometimes you stop in the middle of a sentence because you cannot find the right word. You know what you want to say, but the words just do not come out easily. That is what happens when your vocabulary is not strong enough. Vocabulary is the base of everything in English. When you have enough words, you can express yourself clearly, understand others easily, and feel confident when you speak. That is why learning 1000 essential English words can change the way you use English forever. Now, 1000 words might sound like a big number, but it is not as hard as you think. These words are the most common words used by native speakers every day. When you know them and use them naturally, you can understand about 80 to 90% of daily English conversations. So, instead of trying to memorize thousands of words from a long list, focus on learning these essential ones first. This is how you start building real fluency. Let's begin with a simple idea. Words are not meant to be memorized one by one. They are meant to be used. Imagine learning the word hungry. You can remember it easily if you connect it with a situation. For example, I'm hungry. Let's eat something. Or, she's hungry because she didn't have breakfast. When you use a word in a sentence, it becomes real. You are not just memorizing. You are learning how it fits in real life. So, the first step to mastering 1000 essential words is to learn them through examples and context. Let's take a few simple ones. The word cold. You can say, "It's cold outside," or "My coffee is cold now." The word hot. The weather is hot today. This soup is too hot. Notice how these short sentences help you feel the meaning of the word. You are not just learning the word, you are learning how people actually use it. Now let's talk about how to choose which words to learn. You don't need to study rare or difficult words that you'll never use. Start with basic, everyday words. Things you say, do, or see daily. Words like eat, drink, sleep, work, want, go, come, good, bad, time, day, home, friend, and family. These are part of the 1000 essential words that appear everywhere, in movies, songs, conversations, and books. When you master them, you can understand and speak English much more smoothly. Here's a simple trick. Divide your learning into small groups. Don't try to learn 50 words at once. Take 10 new words each day. Use them in sentences. Write short examples and speak them aloud. For example, if today you learn the words buy, need, make, help, read, call, clean, play, open, and close, you can make small sentences like, "I need to buy milk. Can you help me? Let's play outside. Please open the window. Don't forget to read your book." When you repeat these small sentences, your brain remembers them faster. Another powerful way to learn is by grouping words by topic. For example, if you are learning about food, study words like rice, bread, fruit, a vegetable, tea, coffee, hungry, and cook. Then use them together. I like rice and vegetables. She is cooking dinner. He drinks coffee every morning. When you learn words that are related, your brain connects them naturally. It's like building a small story inside your head. Now let's talk about how to use the words naturally. Knowing the word is one thing. Using it without thinking is another. That's what we call natural use. For example, many learners know the word beautiful, but they often forget to use it in daily talk. They might think it's only for special situations, but native speakers use it all the time. What a beautiful day. That's a beautiful dress. Your handwriting is beautiful. See, it's not a difficult or fancy word. It's just part of natural speaking. To make words sound natural, you need to use them again and again. Not just read or write them, but speak them out loud. Try this simple exercise. Pick 5 new words today and make your own short conversation. For example, let's use hungry, eat, food, make, and tasty. You can create a small talk like this. A. I'm so hungry. B. Me too. Let's make some food. A. What should we make? B. How about pasta? A. Sounds tasty. See how simple that is? You just practiced 5 words in a natural way. When you do this kind of mini practice daily, your English becomes automatic. Here's something important to remember. You do not need to learn every meaning of a word at once. Focus on the most common use first. Take the word get. It has many meanings. Get up, get a job, get sick, get home. You don't need to memorize all of them on day 1. Just start with one. For example, get up means to wake up and leave bed. I get up at 7 every morning. Then later, when you feel comfortable, you can learn the next one. Get a job, get ready, and so on. This slow and natural learning builds a strong memory. Listening is another great way to master vocabulary. Watch short videos, listen to podcasts, or talk shows in English. When you hear new words, pause and repeat them aloud. Say them clearly. Feel how your mouth moves when you say them. This small step makes a big difference. For example, if you hear comfortable, try saying it slowly. Comfortable. Many learners read words but never say them. When you speak them, you remember them better. Another simple method is using flashcards. You can make them with paper or use apps. On one side, write the English word. On the other, write a simple sentence or picture that helps you remember it. For example, for the word study, you can draw a person with a book and write, I study English every day. Keep these cards with you and review them whenever you have free time. Maybe on the bus, during lunch, or before sleeping. Just 5 minutes a day helps a lot. Now let's look at a few common mistakes learners make when studying vocabulary. The first mistake is trying to learn too many words too fast. This makes your brain tired, and you forget them easily. The second mistake is learning without using. If you only read or write the word, but never speak it, it will stay in your memory for a short time. The third mistake is not reviewing. Even if you learn a word once, you can forget it after a week. So, review your words again and again. That's how they become part of your natural English. To make it easier, follow this simple routine. Learn 10 words, make 10 sentences, review them after 1 day, and again after 1 week. When you repeat words in different days, they stay in your long-term memory. For example, if you learn the word excited, you can say, I'm excited for the weekend. Then a few days later, you can make another sentence. She is excited about her new job. This helps your brain connect the meaning with different situations. It's also good to connect new words with your own life. For example, if you learn the word office, think about your own situation. I go to the office at 9. If you learn coffee, think about your habits. I drink coffee every morning. When you relate words to your daily life, they become more meaningful and easy to remember. You can also learn vocabulary from short stories or dialogues. For example, let's read a small conversation using some common words. A. Hi, how was your day? B. It was good. I went to the market and bought some fruit. A. Oh, nice. What did you buy? B. I bought apples and bananas. They were fresh and cheap. A. That's great. I love bananas too. In this small dialogue, you just learned how to use words like went, bought, fruit, apples, bananas, fresh, and cheap. The best part is, you didn't need to memorize them from a list. You understood them through context. Here's another fun way to practice. Watch a short English video or cartoon with subtitles. When you hear a new word, pause the video and write it down. Try to guess its meaning from the situation before checking a dictionary. This guessing game helps your brain work harder and remember better. Also, don't forget pronunciation. Many learners can read a word, but say it incorrectly. That can cause confusion when you speak. Use online dictionaries that have pronunciation buttons. Listen to how the word sounds and repeat it 2 or 3 times. For example, many people say comfortable, but the correct pronunciation is comfortable. These small details make your English sound natural and confident. You might be wondering, how long does it take to learn 1,000 words? Well, that depends on you. If you learn 10 new words a day, you can reach 1,000 in about 100 days. That's just a little over 3 months. But the secret is not just learning them. It's using them daily. You can learn faster if you practice them in conversations, writing, and listening. Another good idea is to make your own English environment. Label things around you in English. For example, put a small paper on your mirror that says mirror, on your door that says door, on your fridge that says fridge. Every time you see them, say the word aloud. This small trick helps you think in English instead of translating from your native language. Reading is another great habit. Read short English articles, children's books, or simple stories. While reading, underline or highlight words you don't know. Then look them up and write small notes or examples. But don't stop at just knowing the meaning. Try to use that new word in a sentence the same day. That's how real learning happens. When you study vocabulary, focus on both active and passive use. Passive vocabulary means words you understand when you hear or read them. Active vocabulary means words you can use when speaking or writing. Your goal should be to move as many words as possible from passive to active. So when you learn a new word, ask yourself, can I use it in my next conversation? Here's a simple challenge for you. Every day, try to use 3 new words when you talk to someone. Maybe a friend, a teacher, or even while thinking aloud. For example, if you learned plan, busy, and important, you could say, I have an important plan today. I'm busy with work. It's simple, but it keeps your new words alive in your memory. Sometimes, learners feel shy or afraid to use new words because they worry about making mistakes. But remember, mistakes are part of learning. Every time you try, you become better. Even native speakers make small mistakes sometimes. The key is to practice daily and enjoy the process. Also, mix your vocabulary learning with fun activities. You can play word games, do quizzes, or use vocabulary apps. These make learning enjoyable, not boring. For example, some apps show you a word and ask you to choose the correct meaning. Others help you build small sentences. When you have fun while learning, your brain remembers things faster. Another tip is to listen to how native speakers use words in different ways. For example, the word look has many uses. Look at, look for, look after. You can hear these in real conversations. Look at the sky. I'm looking for my keys. Can you look after my bag? When you notice these small details, you start understanding how English really works. By now, you can see that learning vocabulary is not just about remembering meanings. It's about using words naturally and connecting them with real situations. When you do this every day, your English will slowly sound more fluent and confident. You'll no longer pause to find the right word. It will come to you naturally. So, in this first part, you learned the most important foundation, how to start mastering 1,000 essential words. You know that learning words in context Practicing daily. Using them in small sentences. Listening, reading, and reviewing are the real keys to success. In the next part, we'll go deeper into how to organize your vocabulary, how to move from understanding to fluent speaking, and how to sound more natural like a native speaker when you use these words. But before that, review what you learned today. Pick 10 simple words, make short sentences, and speak them aloud. Do it every day, and you'll be amazed at how quickly your English grows. Now that you already know how to start mastering 1,000 essential English words, let's move forward. You've learned that using words in context, repeating them daily, and practicing with simple sentences can help you remember and use them naturally. In this part, we'll go deeper. You'll learn how to organize your vocabulary, how to turn passive words into active ones, how to sound more natural when you speak, and how to make vocabulary learning a fun and daily habit that fits into your life easily. Let's start with something important. Organization. Many learners study new words randomly. They see a new word, write it down, and forget about it after a few days. To avoid that, organize your vocabulary in a smart way. You can use a notebook, your phone, or a small app. Divide your words into groups or topics. For example, you can have sections like daily life, food, work, feelings, travel, school, and hobbies. When you learn a new word, write it under the right topic. For example, if you learn the word bored, you can write it under feelings. Add a short example. I feel bored when I have nothing to do. This small organization helps your brain make connections and remember faster. Another way to organize is by word type. Nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. You can make small boxes or pages for each one. For example, under verbs, you can write go, come, eat, play, read. Under adjectives, write happy, sad, hungry, busy, excited, then. When you study, try to mix them in sentences. I am happy. She is busy. We play outside. This way, you don't just memorize words. You learn how they work together naturally. Now let's talk about how to move from understanding words to using them actively. You might already understand many English words when you hear them in movies or read them in books. But when you speak, your mind goes blank. That's because those words are still passive. To make them active, you need to use them again and again. Here's a simple 3-step method. First, listen and read. When you hear or read a new word, pay attention to how it's used. For example, you hear the word decide. You notice sentences like, I decided to study English, or she can't decide what to eat. Second, repeat it aloud. Say it 2 or 3 times slowly. Third, use it in your own sentence. I decided to watch a movie. They decided to go shopping. When you do this with every new word, you slowly move it from your memory to your speaking ability. Speaking of speaking, let's talk about how to sound more natural. Many learners focus too much on big or fancy words, thinking they will sound smarter. But fluent speakers use simple, common words most of the time. For example, instead of saying, consume food, they say eat. Instead of reside, they say live. So when you practice, choose clear and simple words that people use every day. This helps you sound more natural and confident. Also, pay attention to word combinations. English words often come together in certain ways. These are called collocations. For example, we say make a mistake, not do a mistake. We say take a photo, not make a photo. When you learn a new word, try to learn it with its common partners. For example, the word strong. You can say strong coffee, strong man, or strong feeling, but not strong rain. We say heavy rain. These small combinations make your English sound smooth and natural, just like native speakers. To practice this, you can write small word pairs in your notebook. For example, fast car, cold drink, heavy bag, bright light. Read them aloud and make small sentences. I want a cold drink. That's a fast car. When you use these pairs, your brain starts to remember them as one unit, not two separate words. Let's talk about another powerful method, storytelling. Stories help your brain remember words because they create meaning and emotion. Try to use your new vocabulary in short, simple stories. For example, if you learned the words wake up, late, run, bus, and school, you can make a small story like this. I woke up late today. I ran to the bus stop, but the bus left. I was late for school. When you build small stories, you don't just practice vocabulary. You practice thinking in English too. You can even make stories about yourself or your daily life. That's even better because it connects words with your real experience. For example, if you learn the word tired, you can say, I was very tired after work. Or if you learn plan, you can say, I have a plan to visit my friend this weekend. When you use words about your own life, they stay in your memory for a long time. Now let's look at how to practice vocabulary with listening. Listening helps you understand how words sound in real speech and how they connect in sentences. When you watch a video or listen to a podcast, focus on how people use words. Notice which words are stressed, how they join together, and which words repeat often. For example, you may notice that people say, kind of, a lot of, or, often in daily speech. These are natural expressions that make you sound more fluent. Try shadowing. It's a simple and fun method. Play a short English clip. Listen to one sentence, pause, and repeat it exactly as you heard it. Copy the speaker's rhythm, speed, and pronunciation. For example, if the speaker says, I'm going to the store, you say the same with the same tone. This helps your pronunciation and makes the words stick in your memory. Another effective trick is to connect new words with feelings or images. Our brains remember emotions and pictures better than plain text. For example, if you learn the word happy, think of a moment when you felt really happy. Imagine your smile, your friends, and your feelings. If you learn the word rain, imagine standing under the rain with an umbrella. When you attach a picture or emotion to a word, it becomes much easier to recall later. Now, let's talk about reviewing. Learning without review is like pouring water into a bucket with a hole. You forget quickly. That's why you need a simple review system. Review your words after 1 day, after 3 days, after 1 week, and again after 1 month. This pattern helps move words into your long-term memory. You don't need to review everything daily. Just look at the list, cover the meanings, and try to remember them. If you forget, don't worry. Just practice again. You can also make review more active by testing yourself. Write the word and try to use it in a sentence without looking at your notes, or ask a friend to quiz you. You can even record yourself speaking and then check how naturally you use the words. Reading is another excellent way to review and discover new vocabulary. Read short, easy English materials like stories, news articles, or dialogues. When you see a familiar word, smile. It means you're growing. When you find a new word, underline it and guess the meaning before checking it. Guessing helps your brain stay active. After that, add the word to your vocabulary notebook with a simple example. Some learners think they have to learn words perfectly before using them. That's not true. You can use new words even if you're not sure. The more you try, the more confident you become. Even if your sentence isn't perfect, you're learning through real use. For example, if you're unsure how to use borrow, you can still say, "Can I borrow your pen?" That's how you practice and improve naturally. Now let's talk about making vocabulary part of your daily life. You don't have to sit with a book for hours. You can learn in small moments. While cooking, think in English. I'm cutting vegetables. I'm boiling water. When walking, think, the sky is blue. The road is empty. This habit makes you think directly in English and use your vocabulary naturally. If you have friends who are also learning English, practice speaking with them using new words. You can choose a few words for each day and challenge each other to use them in conversation. For example, if your words are help, busy, and clean, one can say, I helped my mom today, and the other can reply, oh, I was busy cleaning my room. This kind of fun challenge keeps you motivated. You can also use English in your phone or computer. Change your device language to English. It might feel strange at first, but soon you'll learn new words automatically. You'll see words like settings, notifications, and download often. And without trying, you'll remember them. Listening to English songs can help too. Focus on the lyrics and look up new words. For example, if you hear lonely, check what it means and how it's used. You'll remember it easily because it's connected to music and emotion. Now let's talk about pronunciation again. When you learn a new word, don't just focus on spelling. Focus on how it sounds. English spelling and sound are often different. For example, though and through look similar but sound different. Use online dictionaries to hear correct pronunciation and repeat it until it feels natural. You can even record your voice and compare it. The more you practice speaking aloud, the more comfortable you become. You can also pay attention to stress in words. For example, in the word photograph, the stress is on the first part, pho to graph. But in photography, it's on the second part, photography. These small details help you sound clearer and more natural. When you reach around 500 to 700 words, you'll notice a big change. You'll start understanding most of what you hear in everyday situations. That's the moment when you should focus more on usage than learning new words. Try to use what you already know in longer sentences, small stories, and conversations. For example, if you know words like wake up, breakfast, work, lunch, home, and sleep, you can describe your whole day. I wake up at 7. I eat breakfast. I go to work. I have lunch with my friend. I come home and sleep at 10. Simple but powerful practice. Remember, the goal is not to memorize 1,000 words like a list. The goal is to use them naturally and confidently. When you reach that point, English stops being a subject and becomes a part of your life. Let's talk about how to stay motivated. Sometimes learning feels slow. You might forget some words or feel stuck, but that's normal. Language learning is not about speed. It's about consistency. Even 5 or 10 minutes a day is better than studying for hours once a week. Make it a habit, just like brushing your teeth. Celebrate small wins. When you remember a new word, say it aloud and smile. When you understand a new phrase in a movie, feel proud. These small victories keep you going. Another helpful idea is to track your progress. Every week, check how many words you've learned. You can make a small chart or use a note app. Seeing your growth on paper gives you motivation to continue. If you ever feel bored, change your learning method. Try watching a funny English video, reading a short story, or talking to a language partner online. Learning should feel enjoyable, not stressful. As you continue, you'll notice something amazing. You'll start thinking in English automatically. You'll stop translating in your head. When that happens, you'll know your vocabulary is truly becoming part of you. Now let's do a small recap of what you've learned so far. You learned that vocabulary is the foundation of English fluency. You know that learning words in context, organizing them, practicing daily, and reviewing them often are the keys to success. You discovered how to move from passive to active use, how to sound natural with collocations, and how to build small stories that make words easy to remember. You learned how to use listening, speaking, reading, and writing together to make learning fun and effective. Remember, you don't have to learn everything at once. Step by step, word by word, you'll get there. If you keep going, one day you'll realize that those 1,000 words are already yours, and you're using them easily in real conversations. So keep learning, keep practicing, and don't give up. Every word you learn brings you one step closer to fluency. You have the power to master English. All you need is time, effort, and a little bit of daily practice. You're doing great, so keep going strong.